Hello and welcome to another ChilliChump Podcast. Today's episode's a little different. We have a special guest. Now, in a previous podcast, I talked about a guy that was breaking records by eating stupid amounts of Carolina Reapers. He reached out to me, mentioned that he had listened to the episode, and we got to chatting and I invited him on to the show. So that's who we're going to be speaking to. His name is Mike Jack. Now, that coincides with the fact that I was busy watching him on a TV show that had just come out called Superhot, which was released on the 22nd of January. And if you're a Chilli head, it is must-watch viewing. It's on Hulu and Disney, I believe. There's 10 episodes, and it's pretty entertaining. Even if you aren't a Chilli head, there's a good amount of drama thrown in there. And when I say drama, I mean a lot of it is dramatized big time. But it's a lot of fun, and he was on that. So let's get straight into the podcast and speak to Mike Jack. Great to meet you, Mike. I feel like I know you already after watching the show. You know, got very intimate with you in the bathtub scene.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Well, I mean, we can start with that. So obviously, Superhot's come out at the moment. That's everyone in the Chilli world is really getting into that, and I'm pretty sure it'll spread out to other areas as well beyond the Chilli world, because it's good TV. It's got a good bit of drama, and there's quite a bit of interesting characters, including yourself.
Yeah.
But how do they convince you to get into the bath with a champagne flute full of milk?
Well, to be honest, it didn't take too much convincing. They were kind of scared to ask, to be honest, when we were just doing the interview there, and they're like, we have this idea with this tub, and they kind of based it off of that movie The Big Short with Margot Robbie does a tub scene where she's explaining the stuff, and
I see the similarities.
yeah, me, Margot Robbie, pretty similar, right? So yeah, they were just like, they're kind of concerned, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. It sounds like fun. It's I don't know if they kind of looked into me or anything, or looked me up and saw but that's kind of my sense of humor, like showing off the fur a little bit there, it
was quite funny.
I like to think it's like, Hugh Jackman type chest, right? So
Hugh Jackman, Margot Robbie.
Wolverine.
I mean, you got a good mix there. So
yeah.
So I mean, let's first introduce yourself, because I don't know if. Sorry, I've just got to stop my dog trying to eat cables.
Chewing cables.
That's all right.
If everything shuts down, it's Barney's fault.
Stop it. Go lie down. He's cute. He's lucky he's cute. My channel is more on the growing side. I make hot sauce and things like that. You're on the receiving end of what I do. I'm guessing you don't really grow, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah.
But introduce yourself for my viewers so they get to know who you are if they haven't already seen Superhot.
Yeah. So I'm Mike Jack. On socials, Mike Jack Eats Heat. Facebook, YouTube, stuff like that. I'm the world champion of chili pepper eating with League of Fire. Got the belt right there. And I also have multiple Guinness World Records. There's a couple of them right there. I've broken 13 Guinness World Records, mostly for eating hot stuff. My craziest ones are fastest time to eat 50 Carolina Reaper peppers, fastest time to eat 100 Carolina Reaper peppers. I have the League of Fire record for most Carolina Reaper peppers eaten in a sitting, 164. And I'm on the show Superhot. I had my own TV show locally here. When I lived in London, Ontario. And I was in that.
Wait. Let's go back to that part. Your own TV show on. Sorry, I didn't know about that part.
I found it earlier.
Oh yeah, I had my own TV show just on a local station.
Okay.
It's like Rogers TV London, in the other London, not your London, the London.
London, Ontario.
Here.
Yeah.
London, Ontario. Yeah, I lived in London, Ontario for a long time, and recently just moved. Kind of across the country to Nova Scotia.
Oh wow!
So, but when I was in London, I had my own show called Jack Up the Heat, and basically the premise of the show is I would go to local restaurants and we'd feature them, and then at the end I would challenge them to make the world's hottest, whatever their specialty is, and I would eat that. So we did a lot of cool stuff. World's hottest pizza, world's hottest tacos, world's hottest donuts.
Wow.
World's hottest ice cream. Lots of crazy.
I heard that on the show. I think you're the one that said it. Something about putting hot sauce on ice cream, and I don't know. I have my limits. I love spicy things, but I don't think I could stretch that far.
Yeah, they mentioned it on the show, but yeah, I've tried that. It's pretty awesome. Hot sauce on ice cream. It's like cold and hot at the same time. It's pretty crazy feeling. Yeah, it's neat.
Does it stop the burn instantly then?
It's I don't know. Not really. You can still feel the burn, I think, but I haven't gotten well, I guess we did world's hottest ice cream. It was pretty extreme. We had like instead of it was almost like a sundae, but instead of cherries on top, we had some hot peppers or chilies, I guess. Carolina Reaper and ghost pepper and stuff like that. So eating those with ice cream, it was pretty neat.
So how long ago was that? How long ago was it that you that started your show and then ended?
Yeah, it was I guess it was like just over a year ago.
Okay.
It still plays on Rogers TV London, like in reruns and that, but yeah, we did the show and then I'm trying to get it onto a bigger network and stuff like that. Haven't had any success so far, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So did that come before or after your YouTube channel?
That came after my YouTube channel. I've been doing YouTube for I think it's 7 years now. I've had my YouTube channel for, so but yeah, all the episodes of the show are actually on my YouTube channel and stuff like that.
I need to do a bit more watching. Yeah, well, Caroline was doing some research for me before this because it's a crazy time of the year for us here in the UK. Well, I think everybody in the Northern Hemisphere that grows chilies, we're all getting our seed started, and that's all I've been concentrating on for the last pretty much month and a half. So, haven't had a lot of free time. Finding time to watch Superhot, that was tough. I managed to get that through. I got that done in the morning as soon as I think I'd got it at like 5 a.m. and I watched it by about 2 p.m. I'd finished all 10 episodes. Yeah, I had to. There's quite a few of my friends that are on there that I've spoken to on my channel, and I wanted to see what the whole story was about. But no, it was a lot of fun. Did you have fun doing it?
Oh yeah, it was lots of fun. Doing the show, I always love doing spicy challenges. Got to meet a lot of cool people. Sorry, yeah, I got to meet a lot of cool people. It was cool meeting like Troy Primo. Like he's kind of a legend in the chili world. It was neat meeting him. I'd met Paul and Shahina before, UK Chili Queen, and it's always cool hanging out with them. It's neat. We find it quite a bit in the last couple of years, I guess. So I was actually saying, like, we were thinking, like, I have some pretty cool, some pretty close friends from high school, and we've actually seen Paul and Shahina more than we've seen our college friends, I guess. So, which is kind of neat because they live like pretty far away over in the UK. We're here in Canada, so. Yeah,
I see her quite a lot at the chili festivals here in the UK. She does get involved in those, so it's always nice seeing her get involved there. And obviously, she's all over the place in the States and that. So yeah, it's good to see how she's risen. Sorry, Puppy is really trying to take attention away here.
He'll settle.
Stop. So, your channel? Did you start your channel doing hot type challenges, spicy challenges?
Yeah, for sure.
Was the reason you started it?
Yeah, that's the reason I started it. Yeah, I was into, I've been into hot sauce for a long time, like over 20 years and that, right? And, I always tell people, now I'm eating like, hundreds of Reapers and stuff. But when I started eating hot sauce, like I used to think, Frank's Red Hot and Tabasco, Sriracha, I was like, those are hot. You know what I mean? But, I just got into it in college, I guess, and I liked it. And, I would just use more and more on my food. And eventually it was like, my plates would seem like they're more hot sauce than food. So at the time, now that's like there's craft hot sauce like all over the place. But at the time you had to search for hotter sauces. So I was like, I need to find something hotter so I'm not using so much. So I was looking for hotter and hotter sauces and, built up a tolerance over time. a coworker told me about Ed Curry and Pucker Butt and all that, like when it was, I guess he'd been around for a while, but it was new to me or new to a lot of people, I guess, and got into his sauces. And I used to just put like, a little dot in my macaroni sort of thing and mix it up, and eventually I'd use it like ketchup. And then, when I started my YouTube channel, it was actually a friend of mine. He was into YouTube, and, he was telling me there's people on YouTube who are eating hot peppers. Like, you should try that. Like, you're really good with, hot sauce and stuff. And I'd never eaten like just a chili on its own before. And I was like, oh, like, maybe I'll give it a try and see how I do. So I just got these, I think it was at like a Pepper Palace or something like that. I got these like dried Reapers. So my buddy and I ate one of them on camera, and he like was freaking out. And I was like, oh, this is hot, but I'm kind of used to Reapers now from the sauce. So I wonder if I can eat more. So I was like, can I eat 3 of them? So I did a video, I ate 3 and 5, 10. And at the time, there was like Ted Barris, the fire-breathing
idiot. Yeah, I know him.
You know that guy, yeah?
Yeah.
So he did a challenge, I forget what it was called, but it was like 21 Superhots or something like that. And I was like, I wonder if I can do that. So I got 21 like fresh Reapers and did that. And I was like, okay, like, I was like, can I break a record? Like, I don't know. Like, so I was trying to find videos of like who is eating like the most Carolina Reapers, and I found Brianna, the OG chili queen, like from Australia. She's still there. Yeah. She had done 30 at the Australia festival that they do there. So I was like, well, maybe, or did she do 30? I forget how many she did. It was 20 something. So I set up an event, charity event in my, just down the street from where I live at this brewery. And I ate 30 of them, and I was like, I ate the most ever at the time, I guess. But
was that your first record?
Yeah, that was like, well, from, it wasn't an official record, I guess, but from my research and what I could find from people eating peppers and stuff like that, it was like a record. It was the most, the most I could find that anybody had eaten. And then at that point, people were like, oh, like, is that like a Guinness World Record? And I was like, I don't even know. I don't know how to do those, or I don't know anything about that. So then I researched Guinness World Records, and I saw, oh, it's all like time based. It's all like, how many can you eat in a minute, or like fastest time to eat 3, or fastest time to eat 10, or whatever. Right. So then I was like, well, let me try like the easiest one, to see like if I can break one. So I practiced a bit, like a record, fastest time to eat 3 ghost peppers. It was, I figured that was the easiest one that they had available. And I set up another charity event, and I beat it. I beat my first Guinness World Record. And
how many did you do at that time?
Oh, it was fastest time to eat 3 ghost peppers.
Oh, just fastest time to eat 3, not okay. Sorry.
Yeah. And it was just under 10 seconds. I think it was like 9.8 or something like that.
So that's chewing it and swallowing.
Yeah. It was chewing and swallowing 3 of them. Yeah.
Can we just step back? So are you saying that the first raw pepper that you ate was actually a Carolina Reaper as well? You didn't build up from other peppers to that?
No, I just went straight for that. Like, I'd had like, pickled jalapenos and things like that, or, I had food with Thai chilies in it, but that was the first like Superhot I had. I just went straight for the Reaper. And, I had had like, Reaper hot sauce and ghost pepper hot sauce.
Very different experience to eating the raw chili.
Yes, it is way different eating the chili. Yeah. But I went straight for that. And
I've got to ask, doesn't your stomach, don't you get the cramps?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I don't mind. I can handle the heat. It is hot when I eat Superhot sometimes for my live streams, and I'll eat them, and I love the pain. I love the endorphin rush that you get as long as you've built yourself up to that tolerance. It hurts. I cry and I'm in a lot of agony, but I also know that it goes away after about 10 minutes. The problem is the stomach. It's the cramps that happen afterwards, and that lasts like 2-3 hours. That
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know how you deal with that when you're eating as many as you're eating. I mean, I'm guessing you're throwing up some of it, but there's still a lot going down, right?
Yeah, I've had my share of pretty crazy experiences with with the cramps for sure. But like like now it's like, I've been doing it for a while, so I know what to expect, or I know how to, I have things that I do to try to make it not so bad. But when I first started out, I would do some of these challenges and I would just be like, man, that's it. It's not worth it. I'm not doing these ever again. Like, this is my last video. And then, like after the cramps kind of go away and you watch the video and you see what you did. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, what can I do next? Like, how can I top this one? You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of just like, it's really just like competing with myself. I think I'm always just like trying to one up myself, I think, is kind of what I'm trying to do. So
did you ever get in touch with Ted Barris? Because, I mean, he was doing crazy stunts more than challenges. I mean, you're challenging yourself. You're trying to hit records and that. But he was just like, how stupid can I get? It was crazy. Did you ever get in contact with him?
Yeah, no, I've never actually talked to him. I've met I guess I've met pretty much everybody or talked to everybody that, I've kind of watched their videos or admired or whatever in the past. But yeah, he's one that I've never talked to actually.
Yeah, he kind of fell off the scene about 3-4 years ago, I'd say, or even longer maybe. And I haven't really heard much since from him.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but he was kind of a trailblazer and stuff for Chilli and YouTube, really, right? So
that's one way to put it.
He was a blazer in a few different ways, I guess. But
yeah, I think that was the first video I saw of him, was him taking a bong rip with Carolina Reapers.
I saw that one kind of later on, but I guess that's like his most popular one. Like, I think somebody who just came across my channel like sent me that or put it in the comments or something just the other day too. So it's still out there.
Don't do it.
But yeah, no. No, I kind of like thought about it and was like, well, it's not. I don't know. I don't want to get into that.
He could have died. He could have caused some real problems there.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Not good.
Yeah.
So I actually have some questions for you.
All right.
Well, we've already answered some of them here, but the speed eating. So obviously you started off with the speed eating. Do you prefer that or the eating the most? Which one do you kind of, if you wanted to keep breaking records, where would you want to go? Or is it a bit of both? Doesn't matter to you?
I guess I kind of prefer like eating the most, like the kind of quantity of the peppers, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Just trying to see how many I can eat and stuff like that. I really just got into the speed eating stuff just because it was Guinness. I was like, oh, like Guinness records, like, they got the name, the reputation. I was like, I used to look at the books when I was a kid, and I still look at them now. I still watch their videos quite a bit. It's interesting seeing the different people doing the records and everything, and it was neat. I actually got to go onto the Guinness World Records TV show in Italy, just like last February. We used to have a bunch of TV shows, like all different places around the world. I think the only one still going is the Italian one, so it was neat. I didn't really know what the host was saying all the time and stuff like that because I don't speak Italian and everything, but enough to get by and stuff like that. I knew when I had to eat the peppers and stuff like that. But yeah, it was crazy just meeting all these different people that do different things. I met the lady who's got the world's longest fingernails.
Oh my word!
Like she has to walk with her hands like this.
That freaks me out.
So they don't drag on the ground. And I met a guy who he does martial arts stuff. Like he breaks coconuts on people's heads with nunchucks, and he was nailing pictures into a wall with his forehead sort of thing. And I met a guy who the craziest one I think is there was a guy who he takes these hooks and just puts them under his eyes, and it was orbital bone there, and he just leans back and walks backwards and pulls a car. Like he pulled a classic car
Wow.
And I was like, what? And I had like a long conversation with them before, just like about, pain management and stuff like that. And we learned we had a lot of similarities and stuff with what we do. And it was neat. Like, I love when there's like, I'm just like in awe of things that people do. And then they're just like, I'm just like, I'm just eating peppers. And they're like, no, dude, like you're eating like all these hot peppers. Like it's insane. And I'm just like, I guess, man, but like, I'm not pulling a car with my eyes. Like, that's like, how do you even do that? Like,
how do you even think to do that?
I mean? It's like insane, but yeah, it's pretty neat.
It's pushing the limits of endurance, and whether you're eating chilies or pulling a car with your eyes. I mean, I see the appeal of it. I'm not saying I'm rushing over to do anything like that, but I do see the appeal of it. And and I think it becomes an addiction in itself just when you do beat a record, especially if somebody else takes that record from you, you just have that addiction to push, and do even better, do even bigger, right?
Well, we spoke about one of your world records on one of the podcasts a little while ago.
Yeah, I think I was saying how nuts you were.
Yeah. Am I right in thinking that you've since beaten it? So had somebody taken it off you, or have you just pushed yourself to kind of beat that again?
I've had a few of my records beaten, to be honest. Especially like I had a bunch that weren't chili related, and I kind of did them like knowing like, oh, like once this is like kind of out there that, this is a record, like somebody's going to beat it. But I had the honor of, I think it's an honor to get your records beaten sometimes when it's stuff like that. Like, I don't know, you guys know, she's from the UK, Leah Shutkeever. She's like a competitive eater over there.
No.
She's I'm a fan for sure. And I got to go to, Guinness World Records headquarters in the UK and do like a head-to-head with her, and she just annihilated me, to be honest. But
that's not with chilies. That was with a different challenge.
Yeah, it's not with chili. She doesn't have the tolerance to do she does some spicy challenges, but not like to the point that I do them, I guess. So I guess I have that going for me. I'm lucky that way. But like I had a bunch of records that she took just for eating other stuff. Like I had like fastest time to eat a head of lettuce, most almonds eaten in a minute. A really fun one was fastest time to eat a banana without using your hands. And
Caroline doesn't eat bananas, so she wouldn't try that one.
No,
she's got all those records now.
Wow.
And then one of them that actually I broke, and then somebody else took it from me, and I actually got it back after. Was fastest time to drink 1 liter of tomato sauce.
You could do that.
No, there's my limits. I have limits there. That must have made you feel ill.
Since I've taken it back, somebody else has beaten it. So I'd like to, go for the 3-peat, see if I can get that same record for the 3rd time. But
is that basically just chugging like you would chug a beer?
It's actually with a straw. I find that just me personally, like chugging, I'm like not really like that good at it, but somehow
I can chug. I'm really good at that.
A second gift is like drinking through a straw. I'm somehow I've broken a bunch of records drinking things through straws. So I don't know.
So the record that we spoke about, I think it was 2 podcasts or a couple of podcasts back, where you just set that record, but you've beaten it since, right? I think it was 130 or 120 Reapers, because that.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So what I did there was, I set a Guinness record for fastest time to eat 50 Carolina Reaper peppers, and then
carried on.
I was still hungry, so I kept going.
Wow.
Right? So I ate 135 Reapers altogether, and that was good enough for second most Carolina Reaper peppers ever eaten. According to League of Fire and everything. And then,
but Guinness recognized it as the most, right?
Like Guinness, they don't have a record for like most peppers eaten in a sitting. Like they kind of have really specific rules and stuff.
You got the 50 in the time.
Yeah,
that was the record you got there. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like fastest time to eat 50. That was the most they'd let me do, and I kind of had to. It was me and actually another another guy who does a lot of pepper eating records, Greg Foster. Like, I guess we were both asking Guinness to do one that was like more peppers, because they had like the most they had was like fastest time to eat 10, and it seemed like there was a bit of resistance, like they're not too sure, like on safety and stuff like that.
They've stopped allowing some of those more extreme ones because it could be dangerous if people are just going overboard. Like the most stuff eaten, you could.
And my stance on that is like, for someone like me or someone like Greg Foster, or, UK Chili Queen or anybody, like, eating 50 Reapers is, not really too dangerous. It's kind of like, if I'm like, because we know what we're doing, I wouldn't say like, hey, like 10-year-old kid, like eat like 10, like eat 100 Reapers. You know what I mean? Like that's, but it's the same as being like, walking across a tightrope is like really dangerous. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go for like the highest like tightrope walk, right? And just be like, all right, I'm going to go do it now, guys, right? Because I'm going to die. But like for somebody who's experienced, like
the problem is you're experienced, but somebody that goes and reads the Guinness World Records and sees that there and is like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. But it's the same thing as if a kid reads it and it's like, hey, there's a guy pulling a car with his eyes. Like, I'm going to go try that. You know what I mean? Like it's maybe it's dangerous if you're like, if you don't know what you're doing. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, like I'm going to set a, fire breathing record like tomorrow. I'm not going to be like, let's, set a sword swallowing record tomorrow, because I don't know what I'm doing with that stuff, right? And people don't know what they're doing with peppers. But, it's not like I just went and was like, oh, I'm going to eat 50 Carolina Reapers for, I've never eaten a Reaper before, but let's eat 50 of them. It's like, I've worked up to this over, years and years, right? And so I kind of explained it to them like that. And eventually they created a record for me to try for 50 Reapers. And I did that. And I was like, all right, let's see how many I can eat. So I ate 135, and they were kind of weird. Like, it was kind of weird because I said it like, I think it was almost a year after when they had published it on their site, but they didn't actually write like a news story thing about it. And then it was like a year later, they had put this like news story out, and then it kind of like went kind of a little viral, I guess. And like, news, papers were picking up on it and stuff like that. And, radio, I was doing like radio shows and a little bit of TV and stuff. And then, but by the time that had come out, I'm pretty sure, by the time that had come out, I had already done a record for like fastest time to eat 100, but everybody was interested in the fastest time to eat 50. And I was like, oh, I've eaten 100 too. And people were like, we don't care about that. Like, there's this news thing. Everybody's talking about it. How about the 50? I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Let's talk about that if you want. I was like, it was kind of old news to me, but everybody wanted to know about it, right? And then, when was it now? It was in November. Yeah, just last November. I tried again, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do a Guinness record before. I'm just going to concentrate just on eating the most Reapers, and I ate 164. So I beat the previous record, which was 160.
Wow. Who are providing the Reapers?
I get them from a bunch of different places. Some like usually it's like hot sauce makers or hot sauce makers will guide me to where they get their peppers. So there's a farm in Ontario, Spruce Ridge Farm, and they grow all kinds of hot peppers. And they like a lot of the big Ontario, Canada hot sauce makers get theirs from there. There's they were recommended to me actually by Pepper North, who they've had a sauce on hot ones. They had their Stargazer hot sauce on there like a few years ago. And yeah, they guided me over to them, and I got peppers from them. When I broke, I'm trying to remember where. When I did the 164, I got the peppers from them. I was pretty out of it, but I remember they were in the crowd there cheering me on, so I appreciate that.
Well, if you ever find yourself in the UK, pop on over. I'll get you some, maybe a bit hotter than Reapers. I mean, your heat. I'm guessing. I mean, if you're eating Reapers, then your heat tolerance is extremely high. What is the hottest thing you've eaten in chilies. I know in Superhot they obviously were going through a process of trying to figure out a new hotter chili, but I mean they're all around about the same sort of Carolina Reaper sort of level. But there are hotter things out there, like the Primatali chocolate is insane. I think Johnny Scoville also agrees that is the hottest thing he's ever had. That killed me. That just knocked me for six. That was crazy. Have you tried one?
I had a Primatali. I'm not sure if I had a chocolate one though. Like a lot of, I've had a lot of peppers that I don't even know what I've had when I do these competitions, right? Because I'm pretty out of it. Or I'm pretty focused on just not hurling, right? So, but yeah, I know. I just edited a video I did for the first time I won the world belt, and there was Primatalis there that I ate. I don't think they're chocolate ones though. I think they're like red ones. But yeah, like hot, like, if you, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched like Superhot yet, but 7-pot primos, I've eaten a bunch of those before. So, maybe that, I don't know if that's the hottest one I've had according to Scoville.
It's a like, great chili that.
To my memory, like, it's different because, I'm constantly building a tolerance. So like sometimes I'm like something I ate like years ago, I'm like, that was really hot, but maybe if I ate it now, it wouldn't be too hot. But honestly, like the hottest peppers I ever had, as far as I can remember, is like a few years ago, there was that Netflix show, right? We Are the Champions. I don't know if you
I did watch
that one, but they did an episode on chili eating, and I was at that competition. So it was like held like it was done by Ed Curry and that, and he had peppers there that were hotter than Carolina Reapers. So during the competition, like you get to the Reapers, and then it keeps going. And I don't remember what the peppers are called or whatever. I think they're just kind of just like names that he just like had, and like he hasn't really like released those peppers or whatever, but those peppers were really hot. And the thing that like I still remember, like each round we were eating 2 peppers, and I remember picking those peppers up and being like, whoa, like what's in these peppers? Like they feel like you're picking up little weights. I'm like, these are like the heaviest peppers I've ever felt. And then you bite into them and you look into them, and it's just like
oil
pith and oil, and it's just like, it's like, holy crap, right? Like, it was.
But does it really matter? Does it?
I'm getting the shakes just thinking about it, to be honest. But
for what you're doing, does it really matter? I mean, if it's a 500,000 Scoville hotter, is that really going to make a difference when you're eating 150 of the things? I mean, surely it won't really change. I mean, because I'm guessing you get into the zone and you're kind of getting yourself in a position where you're handling it. Now, whether it's a Reaper at 1.6 million or, Big Mustard Mama at 2 million or Primatali chocolate, at 2.4 or whatever it is, surely that's not really going to make too much of a difference to your process.
Yeah,
right?
like at the point I'm at now, it doesn't really like matter too much when I'm eating like, 50 or 100 peppers, like doing the big competitions or the big challenges and stuff like that. I think what throws me off like the most, like when I'm doing challenges, is more like the flavor or the texture of the pepper. Like I've done ones where it's like, you're eating fresh pods, and then they throw in like a few dried ones, or there's like the freeze dried ones people are doing now, or if they like
dried pepper, that's the worst, because you can't really you're kind of inhaling the powder half the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like I've done competitions where there's like where there's not a lot of peppers in season, so they give you like a frozen, like a thawed frozen one or something like that, and it's just like, it's kind of like mush, right? Or just like if it's a really like floral flavor, sometimes it's more like just the taste of trying to get it down more than like the heat sort of thing. So
what's your favorite tasting Superhot?
That's kind of
what do you like to eat? What is a super hot chili that you like to eat that actually doesn't taste too bad? I'm guessing you like the taste of the Reaper.
I like Reapers. A lot of the time I'm eating them for challenges and stuff, just because of the name. Like it's like the Reaper, right? And people want to see eating those. Like like for actual flavor, like I like like kind of mild green peppers, like the best, really, like jalapenos, serranos, stuff like that. For like super hots, I like peach, no matter what it is, like the, peach scorpion, or the, what's the other one called? I forget, but yeah, I like the peach colored ones, stuff like that.
And your least favorite?
My least favorite, I kind of just like them all, to be honest, but I think the ones that like kind of, like, I still think like scorpion peppers like burn different. I find, like, I'm just like, I know there's, they're called scorpion peppers because of the, kind of the hook on them, but I feel like they should almost be called scorpion peppers because they seem like they like sting like your tongue. Like, I feel like it's a really deep burn on your tongue. And I guess, I'm not saying I don't like it. I still like it for some reason, right? But I find that they're like, when I'm doing a competition, and then it's like, okay, like, here's some marugas, and I'm just like, all right, like, let's try to avoid the tongue as much as I can. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of, I don't know. People say they have, maybe like, I think they mentioned in Superhot, there's like your kryptonite pepper, like maybe to some point, like at, some range, there's like a scorpion pepper might be like my kryptonite pepper, but not really. Like, I've eaten enough of them, I can get through them.
They're all painful, and they hurt in their own way. But I don't like the floral chilies either. I don't like floral tasting chilies. I do make hot sauce, so when I'm having to eat these super hots, not because I'm trying to challenge myself, but because I need to know what they taste like. So when I'm making my sauce, I know what goes well with it. And I do not like the floral ones. I also do not like Scotch bonnets. I don't know. There's something about them I really don't like. But that's not obviously a super hot, but still the flavor of those, I'm not very keen. But the way that certain chilies burn, and it's difficult to explain to anyone that doesn't eat super hots, but if you're eating a Reaper versus eating something like a Primatali, the way that it burns is very different. The Reaper, it kind of builds up fairly slowly, and then it just starts building, and then fades away after about 6-7 minutes. But things like the Primatali it's almost instant, and it's like I describe it as somebody hammering nails into your tongue. It's such a harsh burn. I think a lot of the chocolate chilies, so Big Mustard Mama, not Big Mustard, the Big Black Mama, another one that's like chocolate colored chili. Again, that one there, it makes my ears hurt, like my ears hurting, and this stinging at the back here. The glands behind your jaw, they start cramping, and
Yeah, that leads me on to another question, Mike. So apparently when ChilliChump reaches 1 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, the community have signed me up for eating a super hot. Now, my limit is probably peri-peris, around that. And Sean has been dropping more and more chilies into food, but you said that you have a process that you go through to kind of build yourself up for doing these challenges. What's your advice for me in a kind of getting through eating my first super hot?
I guess, first thing is don't do it on an empty stomach, right?
Okay.
Before I do, some people think it's crazy, but before I do like a big competition, I know you're talking about like one pepper or whatever, but I fill up. Like I eat so much that I get like bloated. Like I eat a lot just because it's gonna I'm not too worried about burning my mouth. It's like once it gets into your guts, it's what's gonna hurt the most, right? So just like I would eat a lot of food before.
Okay.
And then I could say build up a tolerance, but
I've got time.
Yeah,
it took me a while before I hit 1 million subscribers.
I don't know. We might get to 1 million pretty soon, right? So,
no.
but yeah, it's just really I don't know what I always say it's like, when you're eating peppers and stuff, it's like kind of three things. It's like, building up a tolerance. It's like mind over matter, and then just gumption, just, you're hurting, but you just push through it anyway, right? So like mind over matter, like, I listen to, kind of like a, how do you say it? Like a like kind of like a
Meditation.
like a Buddhist chant sort of thing, right?
Okay.
Like it's like a breathing meditation. That's what I'm trying to say. And it kind of just like calms you down and just like, you got like a happy place, right? That you can go to, sort of thing, and just keep calm. So yeah, and just know, it feels like you're burning and it feels like, this bad stuff is happening to you. But if you just like concentrate on like, nothing's actually happening, it's all just this like chemical reaction happening that makes you feel pain, but you're not actually in danger. It just helps you keep calm. Something I don't think I've ever said before in an interview is what I try to do is part of the breathing meditation I listen to is to smile, because it's hard to hurt when you're smiling. So, people might think you look a little psychotic if you're like in pain and you're smiling. But if you just smile, it just makes things seem not so bad, I guess. So that's, sometimes I just try to smile. Sometimes, my wife, Jamie, she's my coach. Sometimes she'll just yell like, smile. So people think it's a little weird, but it helps me out. So
that's awesome. What does she think about all of these crazy challenges that you get into?
Well, honestly, when I first started, she was pretty concerned. She's like, what are you doing? Like, you're hurting yourself and whatever. And I was like, no, like I looked into this stuff and whatever, it's not really, causing like physical harm. It hurts, but I'm not like wrecking, like I'm not. And and she actually got right into it. So yeah, she she gets more nervous before competitions than she gets more nervous than I do before I do the competitions and stuff like that. And yeah, she's been my coach. She pushes me pretty hard sometimes, like when I'm practicing. And, wow. If it looks like I'm messing up during a challenge or competition, I'm like, it's like, sometimes I'm scared. I'm like, I can't mess this up because, I'm going to have to have a word with the coach afterwards. Right. So
that's awesome that she's so supportive. So does she like hot stuff as well?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I started and stuff, I was really into hot sauce and she was like kind of, just mildly into it. But right now she's like into hot sauce more than I am, to be honest. Like she wants to try all the different kinds of different flavors. And, she, I think she has a better palate for it than I do. Just talking about it. And she can just like taste a sauce and be like, oh, this has this and this in it and stuff like that. Like she knows all that stuff. And I'm just kind of tasting and being like, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like it's good or it's hot or, I can taste like some stuff in it obviously. Right. But she just like, I don't know. She knows all the,
that's a real skill. It's good that she's supportive and also that the tolerance does increase naturally. I mean, I sometimes have Caroline saying it's not spicy enough, and I'm like, really? Great, because I make chili con carne and that sort of thing. But she asked for a bit more spice these days. When we first met, there's no way she would eat the sort of spice that we eat at the moment. No. But it's the more you have and the more you get used to it, the more you want. There is a bit of an endorphin kick. And again, it's difficult to explain to anyone that hasn't really experienced it. But there is a nice little endorphin rush that makes you smile, that makes you sweat, that makes you feel good. But yeah, if you go straight from jalapeno to Carolina Reaper, that's not going to feel good at all.
So are you going to get annoyed if I start going and picking chilies off your plants?
Oh, no, I'm all for it as long as I can film it.
Jamie, she was interested in it. Like when I was eating Reaper sauce and stuff like that, like maybe she was still, into like the Frank's Red Hot stuff like that. But she'd like kind of take a, stick her finger in a little dot of it and put it in her mouth and be like, whoa, how are you eating this? This is so crazy. But, she worked her way up and was like, she was eating habanero sauces for a while and was like, okay, I think I'm ready for ghost pepper. But now she's like, she's not doing like crazy extract sauces, on her breakfast or whatever, but she'll have like Carolina Reaper pepper hot sauce and stuff. Like she'll have like some pretty hot stuff. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
Oh yeah, we'll get Caroline there. I've yet
slowly.
to get her involved in my wings eating, because normally that's where we bring out the real hot stuff when we do chicken wings. So we have my brother comes around and brother-in-law. Brother-in-law does not eat spice whatsoever, but he does these challenges with me. He loves doing the challenges with me.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But he would never choose to have hot sauce. There's no way. But yeah, we'll have to get Caroline involved in that, I think, at some point. I had a question. Obviously, your tolerance is high. Your ability to eat 134 chilies. The chili queen, I mean, she's hugely impressive. She's winning so many competitions. Surely, if you're able to eat those all, why are you not beating her in competitions? I mean, surely that would be happening.
Well, I have a lot of admiration for
Intimidated.
Chili Queen Shahina. We're buds, right?
Yeah.
And we've become friends over time and stuff like that. And we've hung out and stuff like that. And just the stuff that she's done for the chili community is like amazing, right? Like she kind of like made the chili eating like a travel sport, right? Like they had these chili eating competitions, and it was just like a bunch of random people would go and do the competition, for fun and stuff. And that's cool. Like I like that too. But she just like started traveling around, to all these different competitions and doing, and the whole record that she has, like, I think it's like 97
it's coming up to
wins and stuff like that. Like it's insane. Right. And I would be like super honored to like go up against her in a chili match, but it hasn't happened yet. I've never gone up against her. So
that's what I was going to say. You've never actually competed with her. Do you think? I mean, you obviously know her quite well. Do you think you could beat her?
I don't want to be, I don't want to be like too cocky with stuff, saying like, I can beat everybody and stuff. I'm just, I would like the opportunity to try to go up against her at one point, and she knows that. We've talked about it and stuff. She's kind of taken some time away from actually eating the peppers for personal reasons and stuff like that. Yeah. But I've told her, she knows, like, whenever she's ready to come back, like I'm ready anytime. Like, I'd at least like the opportunity, and I'm really thankful that when she decided to, step away, or she couldn't make it to the world belt match in New Zealand, that I was kind of chosen to go in her place, and got the opportunity to win it, and then defend it in Czech Republic last year too. So I'm just really thankful for all the opportunities she's brought to not only me, but everybody in the chili community. And
no, absolutely. And she doesn't even like chilies. She says she doesn't like the taste of chilies. I heard that the other day. I was like, that's a hell of a sport you've chosen when you really don't like the taste of them. But she is good at it. She's incredible. I've watched her live, and that's crazy. It's kind of what makes me think I'll never do it. There's no way. I just don't see the point. I couldn't. The problem that I have is I can't throw up. I have a problem where I can't actually throw up. So I can't, if I'm eating 30, 40 Superhots, I can't bring those up. That's going through. That's going all the way through. So like I said, I can handle the heat. I just can't handle the rest of it. If I could spit it out after a while, that's fine, but that's not going to happen. I mean, these competitions wouldn't be as exciting as they are. But yeah, I mean, I'm guessing you are able to purge afterwards, right?
To be honest, don't want to get too gross with it, but it took me a while to kind of learn that. Like when I started, I couldn't, and I would hurt a lot after. And it's best to, like the more you throw up, like the less you're going to hurt later. So it's best to just, get it out of the way as much as you can. But at the same time, like, I don't want to be, it's like, it's not like you do like these challenges and stuff like every day and throwing up every day. Like, I don't think that's like a real healthy thing to be doing, or I wouldn't encourage that and stuff like that. But when it's like, once every couple months or something like that. Like, I don't think there's much harm in that. I drink a lot, drink a lot of water because, you know, you're going to have like your stomach acid and stuff. And don't want to end up like, you know, there's people who have problems with their throat from doing that too much. So I don't want that to happen. But
and your teeth as well, the acid.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Just you know, if it's a challenge, it's not too bad. I try to keep it in. I think you build like tolerance in your guts too. So, you know, I try to keep it in as much as I can. But when it's something like insane, like eating, you know, over 100 peppers or even 50 peppers or whatever, then yeah, you know, all honesty, I try to get those out of me. You know what I mean?
When you're not competing, so you're saying earlier how you train and Jamie coaches you. Is that always in a lead up to something? So you have in mind, I'm going to be doing a challenge in, you know, February. So I know that over the next 6 weeks, I need to start training. Is that kind of how it works? Or is it just you constantly training, just making sure you're keeping up with things?
That's kind of how it had been going, like, you know, doing stuff like that. But right now I'm trying to get into a habit where I'm just constantly training because I've left my full-time job like a few months ago and stuff like that. I'm doing the Chilli stuff like full-time now. So I have more time where I can concentrate on eating the peppers and stuff. It was just you know, it's just draining when you're you know, working your 9 to 5 and then you come home and then it's like, all right, time to eat some crazy hot peppers and then hurt for the rest of the day. And when you go to work in the morning, sort of thing. Right. So now it's, you know, now I have more time. I can do stuff like that. It's not always, you know, it's not always eating, just hurting yourself with hot peppers all the time for getting ready for these things. A lot of it is like, you know, speed eating and stuff. A lot of the competitions, when you're at like a elite level, I'd say, especially, usually end up in a speed round. You know, like you don't want to be, you know, it's kind of boring for people watching to be eating peppers for, you know, if it's going to go like 3 hours, right? Like, so, you know, it's good to pack as many in and do like a speed run at the end. So I practice a lot for speed rounds, you know, because I know I have the tolerance now to get to the speed round. But when I'm doing something, crazy, like if I'm going to just try to eat the most Carolina Reaper peppers ever, stuff like that, then it's a lot of, you know, like the extract sauces and the tinctures and the stuff like that, trying to eat stuff that's even hotter than the pepper I'm going to be eating. You know what I mean? And the stuff like the extract sauces and stuff like that, like I'm like, you know, the flavor on them, you guys probably know, it's just like terrible, right? Like it's not something I want to be doing all the time, but when I'm trying to build my tolerance, then I'll kind of do that for, you know, like maybe a few weeks before that, I'll be doing the drops of tincture every day, stuff like that. But yeah,
no, I don't like extract sauces. It's just, it tastes bitter and it's just not great. And you get some good natural sauces that are nearly as hot. I mean, they're not going to be as hot because they're not got the extracts in, but no. I don't know how you do it. So what does it look like? I mean, you obviously you've quit your job, so you have a plan. What does that look like, if you don't mind talking about it? I mean, what is how are you going to be earning money going forward? Obviously, YouTube is a part of it. Do you earn money with competitions, or is it more like exhibitions and things like that?
Yeah, a few different things. Like I've got like there's not really much in YouTube money and stuff like that, really. But like,
I saw you have some sponsors. You had a new sponsor that you announced recently, right?
That's a big part of it is sponsorships. Yeah. So I have a bunch of sponsors. I guess you can't really see on my shirt, but I've got a bunch of sponsors on my shirt here, and then there's also like the whole like back of my shirt.
Wow.
So yeah, I owe a lot to my sponsors. I wouldn't have been able to, you know, go to New Zealand and Czech Republic and stuff like that last year if it wasn't for my sponsors. So, you know, I owe a lot to them, and they're helping me out for sure. And then, you know, I have a couple hot sauces that are they're made for me by Dawson's Hot Sauce.
Okay.
You may have heard of them. They've been on Hot Ones, I think 4 times now. 4 different sauces on Hot Ones. They're from Hamilton, Ontario, and I'm pretty good buddies with Brody Dawson now from Dawson. So we got
if you're interested in sending some over, I'd love to review them because I have a series on my channel where I review hot sauces. And
all right, for sure, yeah.
We'll get some visibility of that over this side of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me your address and I'll send you a couple. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got 2 hot sauces. The one first one I came out with it is called Tropical Fury. Because one of my favorite things in the world is pineapple. It's nature's candy, right? So it's like a pineapple ghost pepper hot sauce, and Brody makes them pretty hot, but also super flavorful. I love it. I love pineapple on pizza, so I put that sauce on pizza all the time. Right?
Oh, you lost it.
That's it for the interview. We're done.
It's like where I lived in London, Ontario. There's a town like about an hour away, Chatham, and that's where the Hawaiian pizza was actually invented. It wasn't from Hawaii; it's from Canada.
Oh wow!
And we Canadians that's a thing. People don't know about Canadians. We like pineapple on pizza for the most part.
Wow.
But I came out with that sauce. It's not like it's ghost pepper, right? So you guys, you can imagine how hot it is. It's not like burn your face off hot or whatever. But a lot of people, when I was, wanted to support me and buy the sauce, and they're like, I want to support you, but the sauce is too hot. So I came out with like a milder one, and it's actually, people are loving it. It's called Taco Tuesday. It's like a taco in a bottle.
So it's like an everyday type sauce.
Yeah, it's like an everyday type sauce. It's like a green sauce, like a verde. Okay. And it's great on tacos, and it's like got like the kind of almost like a taco seasoning like flavor to it. It's like lime and tequila and cumin, stuff like that. So
I can review that one.
But yeah, a lot of people, it's got a great reaction so far. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's
that's awesome.
Very good sauce.
Yeah, no, I'd love to try them out, and hopefully we can get a bit more people out here buying it. Do you sell internationally, or is it just Canada at the moment?
I do it online sales mostly. I have it in like a few stores like locally and stuff like that. But one sauce, like the League of Fire website, was selling it in the UK. Okay. I'm not sure if they still have any left. They might. But yeah, it's mostly just places around Canada. So
okay. My sauces are all sold online. I don't have any in-store presence. It's just never got round to it. They sell out very quickly online, and it just never made any sense for me to put them in a shop. So that's kind of that. But it's international. I think most of my sales are to the US, which is weird for me. But yeah, so I think there's a market out here for you as well. So
I don't think I've really talked about this on in an interview yet, but kind of weird story. Like when I was doing stuff for TV shows and doing my own local TV show and stuff like that, I was looking for like a talent agent to help me out, like to do negotiation and stuff like that for me. So when I was doing that, I found somebody. I have like a talent agent in Toronto, and she was like, "Hey, like I think you're really funny in your show. Like you should do commercials." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I've actually I've been doing. It's one of those things where you do like a whole bunch of auditions and then you get like kind of one part and stuff like that. But when you get a part doing a commercial, they actually pay like really good. So
hopefully you're going to get a few more after Superhot.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. You came across really well within the show. I said to Sean, your kind of fun persona comes across really well. So I'm sure you'll get a lot more after that.
Oh yeah, for sure. So kind of just starting out with that, but I'm going to be in I don't know if I'm allowed to say what I'm coming out with, but I'm going to be in some commercials anyway coming out, but
very cool.
Doing what you do, as in eating chili.
It's actually not. I'm just being like a regular guy. Yeah. Like the one is like, that's coming out. I don't know if I can say what the product is or anything yet. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but I'm going to be like a guy getting a tattoo. So I'm just like in a commercial and somebody's giving me a tattoo.
Okay.
In the commercial. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, it's all working out nicely. I went, a very different route than yourself, but I quit my career, about a year and a half ago. Must have been about a year and a half ago, yeah, to do what I do full time. So not just the YouTube stuff, but the growing as well. I sell seeds and sauce and things like that. And I do consultancies for other people trying to start up hot sauce, shops. But that was the scariest time, the day that I quit my career.
2.5 years ago.
2.5?
Yeah.
Wow. 2.5 years ago. But, I have a career in IT, for 15 years. A successful career, and giving that up to become a farmer, basically, that was stressful. But for yourself, was it a relief, or was it a scary thing to do, or when you actually made that decision?
Yeah, kind of both, I guess. But yeah, it's I was working in a factory and stuff, and it wasn't too bad of a job, and I liked the people that I was working with, and I'd found I worked some jobs that I didn't like, and I thought my bosses were jerks and stuff like that. But I was working for my bosses were nice at this job and stuff like that, and I worked there for a few years. But I was still just you're doing your what was my hobby, right? Like eating peppers, and at that things were starting to pick up, and I'm traveling and stuff like that, and I'm just at my job, and I'm just I wish I was at home, editing a video, or I wish I was at home, sending out emails for sponsorships, stuff like that. Or, it was just it was kind of just taking up time, and, you're kind of well, this is my steady paycheck and stuff like that. But, I was thinking about it for a while, and then I actually talked to a few people who had done kind of the jump before. And they're just Mike, what are you doing? You're world champ of chili pepper eating. That's crazy. You need to focus on that and go and do that thing. And, I was mentioning earlier, when I got to meet Leah Schuttkever, the competitive eater, and she has a huge following on Facebook and on YouTube. And, that's where she's making her money and stuff like that. And she's just dude, you're there, you're at the, elite level and what you do, you need to go focus on that and go make videos and just keep making videos and putting them out and stuff like that. And, you'll find your way.
You'll find your audience, and I think you'll definitely be growing a lot after Superhot, and I think you're going to become more of a household name worldwide. I'm sure you're pretty much a household name over in Canada, but I think that you'll be far wider known throughout the world after this.
Yeah, it's there's the kind of niche, the chili people, the chili heads, the pepper people.
It's a big community, and it's growing.
Right? There's that, and I feel I'm getting pretty well known in that community, but it's you need to kind of expand to more people and stuff like that, right? And then then you can just get bigger, I guess. So it's kind of what I'm working on, I guess.
How many subscribers at the moment have you got on YouTube?
On YouTube, I have just over 30,000.
Okay.
TikTok, I got 21,000, I think. And I got, I don't know, 7,000 on Instagram, and I just got to 5 on Facebook, but I'm growing on Facebook really quick. I started I wasn't really concentrating on Facebook. I was more focusing on YouTube, but something Leah actually told me, she said she makes more on monetization on Facebook than YouTube, and I was
wow.
I didn't even know you could really monetize that.
I didn't know you could monetize it. How do you monetize on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm kind of almost there. I just I concentrated on that more, and just actually last week I put out a video that I had already put out, where I break the record for the Pocky One Chip Challenge. I ate 71. So I put that the first time I put the video out, I think I only got 2,000 views or something like that. But I just put it out again last week, and it's going crazy right now. It's at 250,000 views. It's one of my most watched videos I've put out. So yeah, it's going well. Like just concentrating on what I need to do. It's working out so far, but not quite there. Not where I want to be yet, but it's getting there. Right?
Don't give up on YouTube, because I do believe that it's going to be starting to switch back, because we've seen TikTok obviously blow up over the last 2 or 3 years, and that's kind of dominated the space. But I think it's flowing back the opposite way. You can see TikTok are going for longer form video, and they're trying to turn it into a YouTube essentially. And I think that it is flipping back the opposite direction a little bit, but who knows? I love YouTube. I am long form content. I can't, TikTok. It's a young man's game. I can't do it. I post up a few little clips now and then on there, but mostly it's just YouTube. I enjoy the format, and it seems a bit more personable. People seem a bit more reasonable in the comments. I don't know if that's your experience, but at least for me it is, for the most part. I mean, you obviously have a few odd ones that comment, but for the most part, YouTube is pretty welcoming.
I find it's like, with like YouTube, like most of my videos I put out, if it's just kind of the, kind of like the Chilli head audience, right? Then it's just the comments are more reasonable and people to know what's going on and stuff like that. But it's like whenever, like Guinness World Records, they have a huge following, obviously. Whenever they feature one of my videos on their channel, then it's like it's all the poop comments, right? It's all the
people telling you that, you're going to kill yourself and your stomach's going to explode and you're going to cause ulcers, and it's like, oh goodness.
It's all the like, how is that coming out the next day? Or it's like that guy died 5 minutes later. Or it's like
just lean into it and agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was one that I saw on your TikTok earlier today, and somebody had said, is this guy still alive? And you've gone back and commented and said, I hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like don't expect you to comment back. So it's fun to do it sometimes, right? And they're just like, they change their tune pretty quick too when you respond. Like they think it's, it's just somebody that they've, never heard of. They're not going to respond or whatever. And then you're actually like, I'm actually a person like making a video, like, you know what I mean? And they're just like, oh, hey, sorry about it. It's like, oh yeah, like, well, what you did was crazy. And it's like, yeah, you're changing your tune pretty quick, right? So you got to have a thick skin. Like I think I'm pretty good at that now. Like when I started, it was, you get annoyed, but you gotta just think like, like you're getting like all these likes and all these positive comments and stuff like that. You can't let like the 1 in 10 or the 1 in 100
but that's just human nature.
Like,
you focus on that one negative. You might get 1,000 great comments, but be that one negative comment, and you'll focus on that one. It's,
exactly.
It's something I've had to work on.
That get you down and just I don't know. It's just people who want attention, or they're just jealous that you're getting attention and they're not, or stuff like that. For the most part, or people that don't know they want to get a rise out of you. So there's some kind of drama, excitement in their life or something. Yeah. So
I'm learning quickly just to ignore. It's just, I don't have time for it. It's a blip on my radar now. It used to be a massive focus. I used to show Caroline a comment, if it was a really crappy comment. And I'm like, I should answer. And I'm busy answering the comments. She's like, why? Why are you doing that? Just leave it. Just ignore it.
And again, I think
it's going to bug them more.
But you get to a point where you've got so many followers that actually they're the ones that step in and answer those kind of shitty comments for you as well. So, it's not worth your time and effort.
No, but you'll see. For me, my channel, obviously, I'm at 190,000, I think. It took me ages. It took me, I think, 3 years to get to 100 subscribers, right? 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
And then 1,000 subscribers, that came in about 6 months. And then 10,000 subscribers was about 2 months. And then I had a video go kind of viral, and I was getting 1,500 subscribers a day. It just kind of blew up. And it was a random video. It was an older video of mine. It wasn't one I had just released. And suddenly just kicked off, and the channel just started growing. And it's just going to happen one day for you. I mean, you're at 30,000. It's a good number to be on. So I'm sure you got a ton of videos there. One of them are just going to pop off, and then suddenly you're just going to have your channel flying. So,
well, I forget what I was at, but I was was at, I don't know, like, a lot less than what I have now. And then I had a video a couple of years, was it, I don't know, maybe it's been like 4 years ago now, that kind of went off, and I got like, 2 million views on it. It was like a Pocky chip thing, right? So that kind of like, grew the channel like a lot. Yeah, it's kind of like you just have the one video really helps you out, and then people like stick around or whatever. But yeah, I kind of changed stuff around too. Like my channel was a lot of like, hot sauce reviews and stuff like that, and whatever. And I decided to concentrate more on like doing the challenges and things like that. But I also took a bit of like, almost like a bit of a YouTube break. Like at one time I was posting like 3 videos a week, stuff like that. And it just got to be too much. And it was like a, strain on my mental health, and I wanted to do other things. So I kind of just stopped. And I think it was it last year or the year after, I only put out like maybe like 4 or 5 videos for the year. So stuff kind of slowed down, but I took that time to like get better at doing like what I'm doing. Like instead of just making these review videos, which, I like doing them and stuff like that. But instead of doing all these hot sauce reviews, I was more just practicing not doing videos, just like practicing eating peppers and trying to grow a tolerance and trying to do different things and stuff like that. I think too, at the time I was kind of known as like the fast guy who's like, oh, Mike Jack is fast, but he can't eat like all these peppers. So I kind of wanted to like prove to myself I could eat the mass quantities too. So, but yeah, I'm kind of back doing the videos. But yeah, I'm really going to concentrate on Facebook a lot now and see how it goes. It's going well so far. And just a couple months I've been working at it, so we'll see.
I have to look into that. I again, myself, same as you, I guess. I consider Facebook as being something that I can monetize. I mean, I've always used Facebook and Instagram as just a way to connect with the people that watch me on YouTube. So it's a way for them to have a bit more of an interaction with me. And I've never really focused on it. I'll post random pictures up. I mean, we are focusing a bit more on putting out more content, because it's obvious which ones get more views, people actually enjoying it, and which ones don't. The random stuff of, hey, this is what I made for dinner, people don't give a damn, but they want to see me posting pictures of my greenhouses with all my chilies, and it's just focusing in on things like that to try and build it out. But yeah, I need to look into it a bit more as well, if it's something that is something I'm missing out on, I guess. So yeah, I
find it's I guess I had the mindset. I don't know if you think like this too, but I'm just like, oh, like Instagram, Facebook. It was just like, it's like photos, like you're taking all these photos and post them up in like, YouTube or maybe TikTok or videos. But something I've kind of come to realize from, seeing people who are, more successful on Facebook is it's videos there too. It's like videos, I guess. So, I kind of like taking pictures because it's a lot less work, right? You can just take a picture of the sauce on your food, or just like take a picture of me, holding the sauce with my thumbs up, sort of thing, and then it's done. It's like easy, right? So you can just post that up. But it's like, I guess it's like the thing with monetization. It's just like the video, you're like looking at the video more. So then Facebook or they see that as like, you can monetize that more because it's like people are focusing on the video for a longer amount of time, where it's
all about retention, right?
They're just looking at it and flicking through, right? Like it's hard to put a dollar amount on that. But if somebody's like actually sticking around for, like a minute or 10 minutes or whatever, like watching your video, like that's something that they can put money behind, right? And get advertising.
Well, the funny thing is, like I said, I started my Instagram and Facebook just as a way for people on my YouTube channel to, come and check. Come and chat, or come and post their own images and share with me, or tag me and things, right? So that was what it was for. And then I found, because I think I have something like 7,000 followers on Facebook and probably about 7,000 or 8,000 on Instagram, and so many of them don't know who I am from YouTube. They don't know that I have a YouTube channel, and they get freaked out. It's like, oh my God, you have 190,000 subscribers. And I'm like, yeah, and then or they'll criticize. I'll post a photo of something and then they'll try and tell me, what I'm doing wrong with growing my chilies. I'm like, this is what I do. This is my living. This is my life. But you just bite your tongue and, hope that one day they'll figure out, wait, I have a YouTube channel that I talk about all this stuff, right? But it's quite funny. People find you and they don't know who you are, but they like the one video that you put out on Facebook or Instagram. They like the one photo, so they started following you. But they have no clue that actually they've got so much more content they can go to on YouTube. And that's the tough part for me, is trying to get people to see on Instagram. So if you're posting up on Instagram or Facebook, make sure it's clear in your posts, hey, there's a lot more stuff over on YouTube already, right? So if you want to see more of this, then pop over there.
Yeah.
I'm not good at self-promotion, so I have no idea how to actually do that without it seeming like an advert every time. So I don't know. There's a balance, I guess.
I find it's even if you do a lot of self-promotion, right? It's hard to get people to cross over platforms. I find anyway, or, even, looking at what other people do and stuff like that. Like, it's hard to get people there's a lot of people who are like, big on one platform and then not on another, stuff like that. Like personally, I'm just like, if there's somebody I find interesting, I just follow, like, I'm on like all of them, right? I'm like, I'll follow you on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, like everything, right? But it seems like some people like have their favorite and that's like their go-to, right? It's like a lot like I have people that I talk to, like followers and stuff like that on Instagram, that are like, oh, I don't have Facebook, or I don't have YouTube, or I'm just on Instagram, or, for any of the platforms, right? So yeah, it's interesting.
My mic keeps dropping down. Because like slowly, if I speed up this video, it's going to just show the mic going.
So now that you've swapped your hobby for your kind of full-time job, what do you do to relax? I'm guessing that's not eating peppers.
To relax. I'm pretty into retro gaming.
Oh, cool.
So like
which genre, which generation? We're talking first.
Like my favorite console is Super Nintendo.
Okay. SNES. So you don't go as far back as Commodore, do you?
I don't go that far back. No, the farthest I go back is original Nintendo, basically. And yes, like when I was growing up, I had an Atari. What is it, 3600 or whatever? Is that what it is?
I know which one you mean. Yeah.
Like kind of like one of the later Ataris or whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of I don't know. I can't really go back to those graphics really, and even original Nintendo. Some of the games I have a hard time going back to those. It's like it's not so much the graphics on original Nintendo. It's more like the saving and like if you're playing something with like, if you can use save states or whatever, like, modern technology, it's not so bad. But when it's like Mega Man, you have to like do like the passwords and stuff like that. I'm kind of like, before battery save. But I love Super Nintendo. And probably like the newest I go up to is like maybe like Wii, or maybe even like PS2 sort of thing.
Cool.
So that's it. That's your limit. You don't play the new stuff. Is that your limit? You don't play any of the newer stuff?
No, I don't really. I don't know. I don't really enjoy it as much, I guess. I'm kind of like like it's kind of weird. Like I tried, like I have a PlayStation 3, but I don't really play PlayStation 3 games on it. I kind of I modified it so I can play like PS1 and PS2 games on it. But I tried playing, I think it was like maybe a year ago or something now. I tried playing like The Last of Us. Okay. And I was like, this game is like it's too scary and realistic for me. I would prefer something that's like a little more cartoony. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really care what people think, if I think I'm like some wuss or something. But I was like playing like PlayStation 2, and I was like Silent Hill 2. I'm like, that's like as realistic as I want to go. Like I played that like around Halloween. I was like, I want to play a scary game, so I played that one, and it's like PS2 graphics and stuff like that. But I'm like, this is as realistic as I want to get. That game, like I was getting some nightmares and stuff, but I got pretty into it. But yeah, that's as far as I'll go. But yeah, I love Super Nintendo. I love Nintendo stuff. If I was to get like a newer system, I'd probably get like a Switch, just because I like I think I like the more cartoony things that make you feel good. Right now I'm playing like Mario Galaxy 2 for the first time, and it's just such a pleasure of a game. Like, you're just, I don't know, it's just really just keeps your mind at ease. It's not super frustrating. Like, a lot of platformers, I try to play the games to like relax, but I'll play like a platformer and I'll just find myself getting mad because I'm just falling down in holes so much. So I like games where they don't have pits to fall down. So I like the Metroid games, or like the kind of like the Metroidvania type era, if you know what I'm talking about, where it's like you're basically in like a, I don't know what you'd say, like there's no pits to fall down. You're jumping on platforms, but you're like in a
there's no peril.
Cave or a dungeon or a castle or whatever. You know what I mean? I like stuff like that. Falling down pits, it's the pits, to be honest.
I have to confess, I mean, I'm not much of a gamer, but I do love Mario Kart.
So I had to get I got us a Switch. Was it for Valentine's?
Yeah, it was a few years ago.
It was a Valentine's Day gift for both of us.
During lockdown, wasn't it?
During lockdown, because she loves Mario Kart. So we play Mario Kart together. But I do like modern games. I love older games. I mean, Super Nintendo, that's my thing when I was growing up in Africa. Playing Super Nintendo, or the Famicom version of it, because back then you couldn't afford the Super Nintendo, so you had a knockoff version. And playing Mario Brothers, and I played that till my fingers bled pretty much, and Tetris as well. Loved that. But I also love the newer games. And I play. I waited until it came out, Red Dead Redemption 2. So when that came out, I bought an Xbox One just for that. Played that, for weeks. Loved the game, just the immersion of it.
Thankfully, I was away with work when it came out.
Grand Theft Auto 5, I bought the Xbox 360 just for that. I love the big open world games and the immersion in that. And, I am a techie, so I love the technology behind it. Having these big open world games where it's so immersive and what you can do in them, it's incredible. But yeah, I mean, I haven't even plugged it in since we moved here 3 years ago.
No, and I see the appeal of kind of getting out of all of the kind of real life stuff as well. You want to escape at the end of the day. Yeah.
It's like watching guys. It blows my mind, and I know people that are watching this podcast. They probably play this game, but Farming Simulator, or the worst was Mowing Simulator. You're literally mowing your lawn. I mean, go mow a lawn. But you're playing a game.
We'll lend you ours.
I was pretty into the Guitar Hero.
Yeah, but that's different.
See, I like that. Yeah,
the Guitar Hero.
The Farming Simulator. But that's fine. But that's exciting because you're out of, you're doing something different. But like Farming Simulator, you're literally plowing a field for hours.
But for some, that's relaxing.
There's also a trucking simulator where you literally drive a truck for hours from one city to another. It's literally on a motorway. That's it. You're just driving a truck. You're not doing anything with it.
Again, for some people, that's
I know.
from their reality.
I get it, but it's just for me that I couldn't do it. I don't like repetitive things. I like things that are, it's going to stimulate me in some way. It has to stimulate me in some way. But yeah, like I said, we don't really play. I haven't had my Xbox One plugged in since we moved. The Switch has been plugged in. We've played a good few hours of Mario Kart. But other than that, I mean, we're just so busy with work, and I can imagine. I mean, beyond your gaming and that, do you have other hobbies outside of it, or do you just not have time?
I like the gaming stuff. I watched TV shows. Like, most people watch TV shows. So, watch shows with Jamie and stuff like that. I used to be pretty involved with, being Canadian. Being Canadian, like I'm an avid Toronto Maple Leafs fan, hockey. So
I've got a jersey of theirs. Actually.
Yeah, I have I don't know if you guys know many players. I have a Austin Matthews jersey I
don't know the
wear.
players. I've got my own name on the back.
Okay, yeah.
It was a gift.
Austin Matthews, he's like the star of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's on pace to score 70 goals this season, which hasn't been done since 1993. So it's pretty wild. If you don't know what's going to happen to players in their career, stuff like that, injuries or whatever. But if he keeps on the pace he's going now, he'll break the record, Wayne Gretzky's record for goals. If he
I was going to say, that's the only name
but
I know in hockey is Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows who Wayne Gretzky is.
I've had this conversation with Paul Oro from like League of Fire. He didn't know who Wayne Gretzky was when I was talking to him. I was like Paul, like Wayne, like we're in the Czech Republic, right? And because I did the belt match there, and we were talking about sports and stuff. And to be honest, your football, like I don't really like. I know the big players, I know their names, but I couldn't pick them out of a
I don't watch
lineup or anything.
or
You know what I mean?
No.
So I was like talking about hockey, and he's like Wayne Gretzky, like never heard of that guy. So and all the people in like Czech Republic love hockey, right? Like Jaromír Jágr, he's like king there or whatever, right? So we're just like, you don't know Wayne Gretzky? And it's neat when you're with a bunch of people from like different parts of the world, right? Like there's people from like Hungary and Italy and stuff there with us, and they're like Wayne Gretzky, I don't know. But then they're like,
he's about as elite as they get. I mean, he's like up there. It doesn't matter what sport you watch. I mean, you should know who Wayne Gretzky is.
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
broken
I'm like,
every record out there. I mean, he's amazing.
He had his own cartoon in the 90s with Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Over here. So, but yeah, it's neat. Like we're playing a little game with everybody. We're like naming like musical acts from like that are from our countries to see like which ones are popular where and stuff like that. And it's neat. Like when some people, you're just like, oh, like, they'll name an act and you're just like, never heard of them. And they're like, what? You haven't heard of this? One was when I was talking to Brianna Skinner, like Chilli Queen from Australia.
Yeah.
And we were talking about bands, and she was like, oh yeah, like from Australia, like people know like AC/DC, like NXS, Cold Chisel. And I'm like, what was that last one? And she's like, Cold Chisel. And I'm like, no. And she's like, what? And Johnny Scoville's like, no. And like everybody's like, she's like, you guys, come on, like they're like one of the biggest bands from Australia. You don't know Cold Chisel?
I don't know who they are.
No, I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I like looked them up after, and yeah, they're like a good band. And I'm like, well, I can see why they're popular in Australia. I don't know why they're not popular everywhere else. I guess it's just a thing, but Canada has, they have a lot of internationally known bands, obviously, and artists and stuff like that. But like our band like that is the Tragically Hip. Have you guys heard of Tragically Hip?
No.
Nope.
So in Canada, like Tragically Hip is like one of the biggest bands like ever. They have like it's something like 20 number one like hit albums or whatever.
In Canada.
It's like insane. Like you listen to classic rock, in Canada, in Canada. It's something like, and like that, the U.S. is right beside us, and like the highest they ever charted in the U.S. is like 120 or something like that. But they have like all these number one hit songs, and you listen to classic rock. If you listen to classic rock radio in Canada, you listen to it for like an hour, you're going to hear like maybe 5 like Tragically Hip songs. Like
wow.
They're like huge. It's like so big, right?
After this.
Yeah, we'll have to put it on while we make dinner.
It's pretty cool. Like kind of. Yeah, how would you describe it? Some people, I don't like when people compare, like, being Canadian, there's a lot of comparison with the US, and they're just like, oh, like, some people have said, like, oh, they're Canada's REM. And like they kind of have a little bit of that sound, but I don't really like that. That's how they're comparing it. I think it's just like it's really chill, like, Canadian music, just like chilling out on a dock. You'd listen to this stuff, at a cottage, barbecue sort of thing.
Nice.
I think it's like they got good music for that. It's kind of like a indie, like 90s indie rock sort of stuff.
Well, it's you know you're getting old when they start calling the rock of your day classic rock.
Yeah.
No, I love the older stuff. I mean, like older stuff, 60s, 70s, Creedence Clearwater Revival and Roy Orbison, and quite a few of those. That's kind of what I listen to when I'm making hot sauce and stuff. But even Caroline will listen to it when we're having our barbecues or braais, as we call them in South Africa. That's the sort of stuff I listen to. I don't really listen to too much new music.
No, I don't even listen to kind of the more modern stuff on the radio in the car either.
No. Getting old is fun. But have you got any plans to come over this side of the world this year? I mean, I don't know if your travel plans are all set in stone yet, but
I'm planning to. Yeah, we had like had a little visit to the UK last year. I actually came for a friend's wedding. I have a good friend who moved over there, and went for that. But while I was over there, I got involved with Guinness Records and did some stuff with them. This year, I've got something I can't really talk about because it hasn't been announced yet. But I should be over there. You know, chili season.
What sort of month?
Chili season.
So chili season. Okay.
The summer.
So, are you going to be around for one of the festivals?
September-ish. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to be around for that, and I'm working on. Yeah, I'm trying to go to a bunch of festivals, around the world and stuff like that, and in Europe, and I'm talking to a big festival in the UK. We don't have anything finalized yet. It's not
Dorset Chili
sure
Festival is the biggest one here, pretty much.
What's that?
Dorset Chili Festival is the biggest one.
Dorset?
Pretty much the biggest one out here.
Yeah, I'd like to do something with them. I've reached out to them before and haven't heard back, but
they had Chili Queen last year, I think. Was last year?
Yeah, I think she was comparing the eating challenge, wasn't she? Yeah,
she was basically presenting the eating challenge. She didn't get involved, but yeah. Yeah, no, get in touch with them. I'm sure that it's a massive one, and if the weather's good, it's an awesome day. But if you do go, just keep in touch and let us know. And I'll be connected on your Facebook anyway, so I'll see if you announce anything. But we're going to a few festivals. Yeah. We want to do a bit of travel. We want to go out to the US hopefully this year. We just need to figure out a few things. But there's a few places we want to go in the US, and we'll see. Maybe you can stretch up to Canada. I'm sure you could point us in the right direction for a few restaurants that have some interesting spicy food, because that's one of the reasons we want to do it. Is I want to visit a few interesting restaurants that do some real good spicy stuff, like Spiciest Burger or Spiciest Donut, like you mentioned.
Spiciest ice cream.
No, I don't know. I think I could manage the donut, but I don't know about the ice cream just yet. I got to do it at some point, I guess. But yeah, but that's kind of the plan. We want to do a bit of travel this year, so it'll be good.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Yeah, so far, I guess, I think there's 3 festivals that I've kind of announced already I'm gonna be at. There's a couple of them in Canada. I'm gonna be next month there's a hot sauce festival in London. I kind of helped them get started and stuff like that when I was there, London, Canada. Mm-hmm. And then I'm doing one on April 20th near Lethbridge, Alberta, which is in the kind of the middle of the country there, if you guys know. There's a second-year festival there. It's kind of started out. And then in July, I'm going to be at a New England Hot Sauce Festival, which is near, it's in New Hampshire, which, if you guys know that part of it, it's kind of near Boston in the U.S. I'm in Nova Scotia now, which is kind of northeast of that. So kind of in that corner. So we're gonna drive to that one. That'll be fun drive through Maine.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, some of those festivals I don't know what challenge I'm doing, but I'm going to do crazy challenges at them. And
so you're not just visiting; you're actually going to be getting involved.
Oh yeah,
properly.
I'm going and doing stuff at those festivals. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing crazy stuff. Some of it none of it has been announced yet, so I can't really say it.
We'll keep an eye out.
I'm sure we'll see announcements on Facebook. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, listen, I've kept you way over your time. I'm sorry that we've stretched out so much, but it's been a fascinating chat.
It's good talking to you.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome, and we must do it again as well. Hopefully, you've got some new records that we're going to speak about later on in the year. But if you do make it out to the UK, let us know, and we'll make a plan, because the UK is tiny. I think the UK could probably fit inside, Ontario. So it's not a big place. You can get anywhere in 10 hours. You can get anywhere in the country, pretty much. So, and that's in the car. That's not even flying. So yeah. But definitely let us know if you do come to the UK. We'll meet up. I'll bring you some Prima Tali chocolates. You can snack. You can snack on them while we chat. And say hi to Jamie for us as well. And thank you so much for reaching out and saying hi. And we'll let you know as soon as this gets edited and live, because I've got a little bit of editing to do with it. But as soon as we schedule it to go out, I'll let you know. But thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, and good luck with everything. Sounds like exciting times ahead.
Yeah, well, and hopefully, I'm sure you're going to see a lot more traction off the back of Superhot. Right now it's the proper chili heads, and even in the chili head community, a lot of people actually don't know about it. The advertising hasn't been that big, but I think as they start pushing it a bit more on Hulu and Disney, then I think you'll see a lot more traction on your socials. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest. It'd
be a great show reel as well for your talent manager.
Yeah, are you allowed to use? Are you allowed to use the footage? I guess you have to get permission from them to.
I don't know. Probably, yeah. I don't know. It's easier. What's the saying? It's easier to ask for forgiveness and ask for permission. So,
100%.
Yeah, I'm sure if I don't know. It seems like most people who do the acting stuff, they just use it, and if it's not like they're broadcasting it, they're just giving.
It's not like you're trying to make money off that. That's more just for a reel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We've got to go and sort dinner out. This little man is going to be hungry. It's his dinner time as well. He's actually been really good.
He has. When he'd settled, so I apologise for the start.
Yeah, he was chewing on all the
distracted. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Yeah,
he's settled.
I closed the door, but yeah, we've got a couple cats, so they've maybe.
If we closed the door and left him outside, he would have been barking the entire time, howling and barking, scratching at the door. He can't be away from us. He's only a puppy, essentially. He's still less than a year old, but he gets so much separation anxiety. So he goes nuts. Yeah, he's looking really cute now, but I'm sure he's hungry. You want some foodies? Oh, yeah. He's just
woke him up.
Yeah, we're going to get some foodies. Thank you so much. And we'll stay in contact, please. I'm interested to hear your story. I know it's going to blow up for you. I know you might not be able to see it just yet, but it is. I'm sure you are going to be seeing a lot of traction.